name's Krista Hartman. I'm a member of the Des Moines County Master Gardeners, and I'm going to show you today how to make a chicken wire planter. I've made one. This was made years ago, and I just hang it from a little fence in my yard, and I really like it because it's got versatility. I can put it anywhere I want, and I've had a lot of people compliment me on it, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first one I made, I just used a pallet that I broke apart and I stained the wood. But the one I'm going to make today, I've just found an old piece of barnwood and I put some holes in it to put the hanger. I just use a wire hanger. I've got all my supplies here. What you'll need is a power tool to make the holes, some wire cutters to cut the chicken wire with. When you go to put the dirt in, I like to have gloves. It's just easier to clean up. And some scissors to cut my moss. This is what I use to line the chicken wire with. So I've cut the chicken wire in the shape of a triangle so it'll be easier to hook onto my board. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do that. You just kind of fold it here. And then at the bottom, you're going to fold this in, and this is going to hold the dirt in. But you want it to be a little smaller at the bottom. We're going to fold it in. And then we'll just staple that to the board. I want it a little bit smaller, maybe. There we go. And we're just going to staple it to the board. Hopefully my staple will work. I had a little trouble with that this morning. Yeah. Don't get caught. And you just want to make sure that it's going to stay, because it's going to hold some weight by the time you get the dirt and water in there. See, that last one didn't hold, so we'll make another one. Yeah. Okay, so I've made several staples here. I'm just going to flatten the wire out. I'm going to make a couple more down here at the bottom. I don't get caught. Okay, there. I like that better. And then I just got some of this green moss. You can buy it at Hobby Lobby, anywhere. It's actually left over from another thing that I made. I'm going to water it down with a spray bottle, just to make it a little moist. There. So I've also cut that around like triangular shape, so it'll be easier to put in. I'm making a mess, but it will clean up. You can also use coconut liners. Those will work too. I just use this because this is what I had. But whatever you've got. To me, it's all about using what you got. I want to make sure that's down in the bottom so it's going to hold that dirt in. And this is probably a planter you would not want to keep in the house, because when you water, the dirt sometimes will come out, and it's not something that you would want to mess with in your house. So, and since I am a lover of succulents, I'm going to fill this with succulents. Well, this doesn't want to. I think that'll stay open after I get the dirt put in. So this is how it's going to look. I'd like to bring that down just a little more. Here. Okay. Now I'm just going to fill that with dirt that is pretty moist. If your dirt is dry, I would recommend putting a little water in there and mixing it up before you put it in. I'm just going to scoop that in until you want to get it pretty full, but not all the way full, so you can still get your plants in. I would say a little over 3/4 full. And just put a few more in here. Now we're going to be ready to put the plants in. I'm going to put on a pair of gloves because, not that I mind getting my hands in the dirt, but it's easier to clean up afterwards. Now I've got 3 succulents here. This one is a perennial. I dug this up out of my yard. These other 2 are just house succulents. So if you are going to put these outside, then you need to remember when it starts getting cold in the fall to bring them in, or they'll be gone. So this one's pretty big. I might even separate it a little bit. And then I'm just going to throw that in here. So these will grow out along the sides here. I might put a little more dirt in. And these are, I love these because they're so, I don't know what the word is, they don't die. They will take the rain, they will take the drought, they'll take anything. And then I'm going to put these little ones off to the side, or off to the back and to the side. Just so they show up here. And then these I'll put, oh. Now succulents usually like sandy soil. They do better with sandy soil, but in this case, since I'm putting this in a pot that's going to be outside and hanging, it's not so important that you have this sandy soil because what is important that you have something that drains well. Their roots don't like to stay in the wet. So it's more important to remember to water them. I think I'll put a little more dirt up here. I like succulents because they're a little bit more forgiving if you don't get them watered every day. You want the soil to get totally dry before you do water them. And then usually I put some Spanish moss here on top to hold that in and it's like a mulch that will keep the moisture in too. But I forgot it, so Spanish moss is pretty easy to find. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Walmart even will carry that. So then what we'll do is put the wire in to hang it up. And so here I just put some holes in the wood to put my wire through to hang the plants up. It's good to pre-drill your holes before you put the planter on so that you don't have to do it while you've got the live plants on there. And then just bring the wire through and connect it together. And you can make it as long as you want. If you've got a pole you're going to hang it on, I think that's where I'm going to keep it pretty long. And if it's not right, I can always change it. So there you go. And that's my little chicken wire hanger. I've tried other annuals in this, and I just don't like it because it dries out too fast, and I end up forgetting to water enough. And I really feel like the succulents do the best in this because they don't mind not getting watered every day, and I just feel like they do better. Succulents are, if any plant that can hold moisture in their leaves is considered a succulent. They come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. Some flower, some don't. I really like any kind. I'm not real picky about it. I just love succulents. If you're buying them from the store or from anyone, it's important to check the plant. Look for white spots because that can mean they have little mites or anything, and you don't want that because you take that home to your art plants, you'll get the whole thing infected. Most succulents want at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. They do, if they get too much, that's not good either. They don't like real hot sun in the late afternoon. If I see mine are getting too hot, I'll move them. And that's another good reason to make a pot like this so that you can move it if you need to. Succulents can be planted in almost anything, just like this. Or you can put it in a little pot at home, keep it in the house. And it's smart to just water the succulents when the soil is dry. Don't overwater them because they store their own water. They don't really need a whole lot. If the leaves start to pucker, then you know that they're not getting enough water. And if you feel like you need to fertilize them, you can do that maybe once a month. But I find that most of the time I don't need to fertilize. They do just fine on their own.